Hi, I'm Tom Neal, and I'd like to introduce you to Halcyon 250 number 1000. It's been about a year in the making, but super pleased with the results. And there's a lot of differences here, but things that I'm really happy to see come to reality. This was a team project with the great folks at Janus Motorcycle Company, and I'm super happy about it. Things like this don't come easy. It really takes not only initial design, but collaboration with people that care about doing something special. And this is a milestone bike for Janus, and so we were able to push the limits, let's say, a little bit and come up with something unique and different. It's easy to see that the foundation started with changing color of the frame. Not totally original, because colored frames have been part of motorcycling for a long period of time, but this beautiful red color really frameworks, literally, the whole motorcycle. Secondary to that came in a lot of polished parts, and there's some new things that are going on here that will eventually make it to a dream that everybody can have, starting with the all aluminum fenders that are polished. There's some treatment that has been done on the tank here that's familiar to 450 owners. This is the first 250 that has the 450 logo, feather logo, and seal, and I'm super pleased about that. And then other special treatment that was done on the top of the tank, which was of my design, but I think really is very appropriate for the tank overall, the shape of it, so we haven't done anything too crazy. A project like this, it's something that happens in evolution, and as I started thinking about the motorcycle a year ago, I thought about the possibilities of it, and speaking with Mitch, I decided to reserve number 1000, and then the conversation just kept evolving and evolving, and as I came up with ideas, so did the folks at Janus, and that's really what created this. It was really a collaboration. This bike has a polished upper triple. Those are an aluminum part that is generally powder coated, but I wanted to tie back into the other polished parts on the bike. And then we went down and decided to do the cases. I'm an artist, that's how I've made my living. So to me, I really wanted to take the time to create something that was completely different. Some will see this and say, not for me, and others will see this and say, wow, I like this or I like that. Speaking of the red frame, you know, this is not the normal look for Halcyons, which have been, you know, kind of that 20s vintage look. But I like red. For some reason, in fact, if you even asked me on the street corner, what's my favorite color, I would not probably say red, I would probably say green. So how this is red, I don't know, but I own a car, a pickup truck, and other things, and they're all red. My last Halcyon, number 568, was red, but it was vintage red. So for some reason, red moves me, and that sent me off in this direction. And I like to think of things in triples of color. A lot of times when you're designing things, when you get more than 3 colors, you get into a dangerous area. So once red was chosen, there was going to be red and black. Tires are black, the spindles are black, the jugs are black. And then the other color was going to be polished. So everything else I've tried to keep polished. The other little accent color, though, is the 4th color, is gold. So the pinstripes up here are gold, but introducing black and red again. And I've kept that theme pretty much around. So it's kind of, how do you support red? And I did that with black and polished parts, but often, even in racing, we see black and red and white tend to go together, silver. So that's kind of how I went about choosing the color. When I purchased my first Janus, number 568, it arrived on a cold but sunny day on January the 23rd of 2021. I put 1,100 miles on it that month, and in the entire time that I've had it, over 14,000 miles. And that's along with owning other motorcycles. So I was pretty hooked on this thing. I don't think that's what's going to happen with this bike. This was, to me, an artful design exercise. That doesn't mean I won't ride it, because I'm certainly going to be, but I'll probably try to show it a little bit. And it's certainly a big part of the reason for doing it was just to wake things up a little bit. I wanted a hot rod, and that's what this basically is. I wanted something that just looked very, very different. Because of the way this bike was designed, I didn't want to put a number plate on it right away. And so it wasn't completely original that a Halcyon ended up with the number plate on the front, but I wanted this one to be polished and have the number 1000 on it as a way of showing JM 1000 without having it on the typical vintage number plate. In the 1970s, I decided to build a chopper, and that motorcycle just really consumed me. And it was my first rigid motorcycle. My Janus Halcyon 250 was my second rigid motorcycle, and it had a lot of unique things done to it, just like this motorcycle. So this is a little kind of a coming home for me to have something special designed, from the ground up like this. And I think, like many, one of the great things about Halcyons and Janus motorcycles altogether is that ability for us to be able to take them and further customize them or personalize them. And I'm sure there'll be some other things that I do in time with this. But isn't it just a celebration of a motorcycle company that you're not limited to the standard 3 colors. It wasn't really until coming to Janus where those dreams just come true so easy. It's part of not just a menu, but configuration that allows you to realize dreams in a different way for motorcycling, and that's a very special thing to me.